feel it.
Hey, riders ready!
And they're off.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got a good one for you today down in Littleton, suburb of South Denver. This is a really high caliber race on the kind of pro circuit, and this is the senior men's 1-2-3. They also combined this with the Masters 1-2-3 race. You might know this series as Littleton Twighlight, as they have the pro race for both men and women after dark. It's really fun, great environment, super high energy, super fun race. So as we go through the course here, you can see it's an L-shaped 6-corner crit. Really fun course. I really like this race. This year no rain, which is really nice. You can see here we're starting off pretty fast. I got my teammate Sebastian right in front of me. I got 2 other teammates in the race, and our plan was to kind of play a little defensively. There was a couple other big teams there, Primal and Groove mainly, and a bunch of strong single riders. So we just kind of wanted to see what was going to unfold. Here we're going through turn 5 and almost back to the start finish. All right, we're about 13 minutes into the race. Not a ton has happened. There's been some kind of mild attacks and stuff, but there is someone off the front here. And my teammate Steven kind of comes by as it slowed up, goes to the front, just kind of slowly pulling this back. Not too dangerous, but we do want to make sure that things don't start to slowly creep away. Part of our strategy too today was we want to make sure that if Primal, they have a big team that can really mess up a chase. If they're represented in a breakaway, we need to make sure we're also up there. And I guess the same goes for the Groove team, who's in the bright yellow kits. And then there's one other team I think had 3 or 4 riders, which was Full Send Racing. And so we want to make sure that we're represented if any of those teams are in a dangerous looking move. All right, not a few minutes later, and someone is drilling it at the front. We're really going hard here. You watch my teammate right behind me here kind of let the wheel go. And this is a great move sometimes because it'll force other people to expend a lot of energy to surge past you. You can kind of like surf back through the wheels, and it allows for the me and this group of up here to potentially form a breakaway. Now it wasn't going hard enough, and these other people were right there to kind of close it down. But you can see here on the left, another attack is going past the first guy, and it is just single foul here as far as you can see. So this is the part kind of mid-race. First, we're 1/3 through the race here, and it's getting really fast, and people are trying to think, can we get a breakaway started here? And so I'm just trying to stick on this wheel, and I remember coming around here and looking up and seeing like, oh man, there's a huge gap up there, and then this guy's going, so I'm going to try to jump across because I'm right here, and I need this guy to tow me up to the front group. You can look back immediately and see like big gaps opening, people really pushing hard, and this is where that sustained effort can cause breaks to form and stay away for the rest of the race. So I'm letting this lat rider tow me up. The other thing to be conscious of is potential counterattacks. So as we get around this corner, it kind of slows. You can see we're starting to coast. Everyone up there is slowing down. Doesn't look like this thing has legs, so great, we're all back together. And I remember thinking, as soon as I saw both the yellow and green of Groove and Primal attack, and then Cade tries to go across. I thought, this is so dangerous. I cannot let this go. So I get in front of this other primal guy because he's going to probably not chase. I remember yelling at this guy, close that down, and he doesn't. And so here there's no time to like look for teammates. He pulls over, nothing. And so 900 watts, close us down right now before it gets away. Luckily people are kind of in my draft still sticking with it, and I just did this big effort across to make sure that this did not have any legs. And I'm really hoping that some of my team is close behind, but I had to shut this down. And I remember this was a really, really tough effort. If you can look at my heart rate, 193 for a second there, that is pretty much my max. So that took a lot out of me. I'm glad that they slowed up here and decided not to continue on at that pace. Pretty sure someone just gave me a shout out there, so thank you whoever that was. And here's a couple laps later, and my teammate Sean goes flying by at like probably 15 miles an hour differential speed, and just opens up this big old gap. This was great. There was someone up the road already, so I go right to the front here. This is perfect, and then I try to kind of slow things down. 160 watts. This group guy comes by. He's not represented up there, so he moves past. I kind of slow down again. This is like looking really good to get Sean up the road. Hopefully we can kind of lower the energy of the peloton. People don't know what's exactly going on. Slot in behind another full send guy here, I think, and just try to see if I can keep disrupting the chase. Hopefully the group ahead is like 5 people, different teams, the big teams represented. That's perfect. It's exactly what you want to see to try to get your teammate up the road. All right, a couple corners later, I was on the front again. I let one more wheel go, but Jules comes by here with a bunch of speed, and I know I have to get on this because multiple people are going across, including more group and primal riders. I slot in here, and this is really interesting that you'll see that after this initial surge, Jules looks back, sees a solo rider to get someone else to pull through, but it's 3 people that already have teammates up the road, and we all just fan out and stop pedaling. So that's the benefit of having teammates, and you can see some other solo kind of guys trying to get across here, and we're just kind of marking and following all these wheels. So we don't have to do the efforts because our teams are already represented up the road. So you can see here it's still going pretty fast. People are still trying to get across, and they know this move is dangerous, and it doesn't have more than a few seconds, but at any point, the peloton can just give up, and if the person on the front stops and looks behind, all of us will just sit up because our teammates are already up there. Now, this is an interesting point here where you come around here and you see the primal guy in the front. Well, he just got dropped out of the break. So all of a sudden, the biggest team on the race is not represented in the break, as something happened and he could not keep pace. We come close here to the start-finish line, and I try to make my way back to the front with this groove guy, and we both kind of slow pedal. So now we're like blocking. This is perfect. Although the primal guys are pretty coordinated and they realize what is happening. So Connor comes to the front. I remember him asking, "Do we have anyone up there?" Answer was no. He takes the corner and just steps on the gas. So over 1,000 watts just to stay in his draft, and I knew I just had to sit on here, and I've ridden with Connor before, and I know this was pretty much a done deal that this is coming back. But I knew I had to sit on his wheel and make sure that I was ready for either another bridge attempt or to be present at the front patrolling. All right, like I said, 2 minutes 30 seconds later, Connor has pulled the entire break back by himself in one long pull. Well done, Connor. And so now it's again, look out for counterattacks. What's going to happen next? And still got about 20 minutes left in the race. And sure enough, when you see people out of the saddle, that's likely someone attacking. So got to stick in this group and stay near the front. Stay in the draft here as this move is going hard again. All right, just a little bit later, that initial move kind of slowed up. This full send guy kind of attacks the corner here and starts gapping people. No one wants to chase. I guess everyone's tired. I know I'm tired. Also, apologies for the camera view. At some point, my GoPro like rattled downward to point more at the ground. So not as good of a view. I do remember coming through here and trying to decide, should I go to the front? Should I try to pull this back? I don't know. All right, why not get on YouTube, being at the front of the race for everyone else to see. So that could be pretty fun. Although at 400 watts it hurts. Come around turn 1, and after giving it kind of a dig here and flick my elbow to see like, hey, who else wants to participate here? And it was hard to get people motivated, so I decided just to like soft pedal and slot back in and let the other teams help. Alright, it was going slow again, so I decided to inject some pace here, knowing that people were going to follow, and just kind of ramp it up a bit, try to make sure that this gap doesn't grow too big. I was a little surprised that Primal was like on the front, not really chasing. I wasn't sure if they were like setting up for some late bridge move or something, but I felt like I needed to help close this down. Alright, we're just passing 6 laps to go. We're getting close to the end of the race. At this point, there is now 3 riders up the road. 1 Primal rider has, along with Kate on Texas Roadhouse, has bridged across. And this is exactly what you don't want to see, which is everyone coasting. So there's not a organized chase at this point. We're slowing down. This is not a good sign. The 3 up the road, I'm sure, are super motivated to stay away with, only maybe 8 to 10 minutes remaining in the race. And so this is seeming really dangerous to me. We kind of inject a little speed here. Someone tries to go for a move. I remember slotting in here and just trying to stay on, see what happens. But again, everyone's coasting again. It slows up. This guy looks around. So I decided it's now or never. I didn't come here to get a pack finish. Came here to try to win. And so I put in a big effort here through this corner to try to bridge across. This is probably a dumb move because I'm not super strong at this kind of riding. But again, I felt like this was going to get away, and so we were going to be field sprinting for 4th place, which felt like a large task. I remember looking back and seeing this one guy bridging with me. I was like, yes, this is going to be good, and hopefully we can work together here. So I see him here. He comes through. I look back, and I'm like, wow, we have a massive gap. So I found out later, lots of people got to the front, both on the Primal and my team, and really tried to disrupt the chase, and so allowed us to get a big gap right away. This has got to be one of the hardest things about bike racing and chasing down a move is it looks like they're just right there. They're just so close. Why can't it be easier to get to their wheel? And this is like, you just got to dig as deep as you can. You know that the race is going to be over within minutes, and you're putting out everything you possibly can to get across. so fortunate to have this Skyhawks rider to work with and take these short little breaks in the draft. It made a huge difference. But as we keep pulling through between 350, 400 watts, it was just horrible. My heart rate is really, really close to maxed out here. It took us 2 full laps to catch on, and I gave it everything I had to make this happen. All right, a few minutes later, we're so close. They're right there. We're gonna catch. I almost dropped myself right here, losing this wheel. He kind of sprints up to move, and I'm like desperate to close 10 yards to this wheel, and fortunately I surged a little bit here and I'm able to stick on it. We have 3 laps to go. I remember at some point, someone yelling we had about 25 seconds, which is pretty big, and so I felt real confident that we were going to stay away as long as we didn't start really slowing down. So I tried to take a little break, and at this point I am completely gassed. I have a weird right calf cramp thing going, and I'm just happy to be here, not having to deal with a field sprint. But I'm trying to think, is there a possibility I could try to get on the podium or win this race? I don't know, but I'm going to try everything I can. So, all right, long story short, this is not going to be easy to win. We're going through the last few corners here. The Primal Rider attacks hard. I am gapped and cannot get back to this wheel. I am sucking a lot of wind here. As you can see, I really just don't have the energy to close this down. So Cade moves by me here on the outside, strategically getting in the good spot. Third wheel, that would be perfect. For some reason I can't barely get on his wheel. So as you can see here, I come into the final corner, 5th wheel, still letting it kind of go. I stand up to try to sprint, and I'm already letting gaps happen, and I just, here I sit up. Happy to take 5th out of a huge crew. Cade nips the Primal Rider at the line as he posted up. Never do that. Always throw your bike in a sprint like that. You can plenty of time to post up afterwards and take your first place. Anyways, this was an amazing race. So much fun. Really stoked actually with this result after a long season, and really happy with what we got going on at Auto Racing.